Hello, hello everyone. Welcome, welcome. I've got a lot of fun things planned for us tonight. I am going to pull us up in my on my phone. I'm going to pull us up in the group really quick. Or actually, we're not in the group tonight, are we? I'm thinking about my membership. So I am going to pull us up on my business page since we are live on Heavens to Betsy Cakery. Let me get switched over there because I am still on my other profile. And then I should see us. So let me see. Oh, here we are. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. So if you are here with me, say hello in the comments. If you are catching this on replay, you can just put hashtag replay and I should get a notification and I can come back and say hello to you later. So let me hang this up here really quick. Make sure my volume is off. I got Kenny's phone tonight because my phone and Facebook haven't always been playing nice this past week. So I grabbed his just in case I cannot see you. If I, with having his phone, I can see the comments on his in case I can't see them on mine. So there we are. So let me get in here just in case. Okay, perfect. All right. So hello, hello, welcome, welcome. Um, I am so happy to be here. It has been a hot minute, hasn't it, since I've been live on my business page. So I have been in the membership, the Cakery, but it's been a long time since I've been able to get live or to be able to go live on my business page. So anyway, super happy to be here with you all tonight. So what we're going to be doing is we made some funnel cakes in my membership last week or 2 weeks ago now. Well, I guess last week. Yeah. So anyway, we did a traditional style. I'll show you them. I've got some behind me and I've got some that we're going to be working on tonight. And let me grab our other camera so I can show you up close. So let me pop that in there really quickly for you. And there we go. So, so you can see our supplies we're going to be working with tonight. So anyway, here's our funnel cake that we made in the membership. And it's a traditional funnel cake. So you'll see like the dough and then you've got the powdered sugar on top. So I thought it'd be fun to come on here tonight with you all and to be able to sweeten them up a little bit. So I have two. I've got the traditional ones. We're going to reserve those. And I'm just going to set them back here behind me. And then I've got two that I made here that we're going to be using to decorate tonight. So, the first one that we're going to do is I had an idea to do like a cotton candy theme. And so a lot of the stuff that we're going to be working with tonight was stuff that I've already got in process, meaning like I already had some ice cream mixed up from the membership, and I've also got some ice cream mixed up from some custom orders that I did recently. So I just wanted to use up my supplies. And so we're going to be using those on our funnel cakes tonight. So, hey, Joe, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy to see you. So our first one we're going to do is going to be so our first one we're going to do is going to be the cotton candy one, because the second one, I was going to do more of like a banana split theme and I couldn't find my bananas. So what I did is I took a real banana and I made a mold of it. And then, I made a banana out of that. And then I had some extras, like I have a huge storage in my room. So I had some extras and I was looking for that. So it's going to kind of be like a banana split, but not exactly. So it's not going to have the bananas, but it's going to have like the pink and the white and the brown theme, like you would normally see in like a chocolate vanilla strawberry ice cream banana split type thing. But anyway, we're going to kind of fancy it up a little bit with some marshmallows, some chocolate sprinkle pieces. I got out my glue pots over here. So we're going to drizzle on some white chocolate, some dark chocolate, and I don't know if I said, I also got out some marshmallows. So we're just going to kind of just put a lot of stuff on it and just, like I said, sweeten it up and make it like just an extra fun little fake food. So anyway, I'm going to take a drink. But anyway, we're going to do the cotton candy first, because once I turn on my glue pots, you can see them in this one. I got them stacked up. Once I turn those on, they get heated up. And then, so I don't like to turn them on when I'm working in my studio. I like to use them and then unplug them and then either leave the studio soon after or go ahead and put them back in my kitchen for them to cool down. So I want to use them last. So anyway, let me take a drink and we shall get started. Okay, I might have to wiggle my mouse a little bit. This computer that I'm using, my other, not one but two laptops died. So anyway, because of that, I'm using another one, and it tends to, for some reason, I guess I need to adjust the settings. It tends to black out on me. So what I do find is that my video keeps going, which is good. But when I'm trying to watch and make sure that you all can see me, excuse me, it's black. So it's hard to know. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I've got some pink mixture that I used that we're going to make into ice cream. And then I've got a blue color that I used that we're going to make into, we're just going to make like, not a swirl necessarily, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put both of these. I have another container like this. This one is like, I'll show it to you on this camera this way. So what I'm doing is I'm going to take the pink mixture and then the blue mixture and put it in here. And then I've got an ice cream scoop, and then I'm going to scoop it together, not really swirl it, but I want it combined so that it looks like they're mixed, kind of. So, hey, Jennifer, hello, hello. No, you are so good. Oh, no, I'm so sorry to hear about that. Sending you love, sending you prayers for healing, and I hope everything is well, and I hope it's not serious. That was for Jennifer Lynn Marie, and then hello, Jennifer Patton as well. We got two Jennifers in the house right now, so hello, hello. So I'm going to grab my big popsicle sticks. I need to get some of my small ones because, well, I have small ones. I will show you. I have two sizes left. I got the itty bitty baby one and the really, really big one. So the medium one that I like to use a lot of, I've used them up. So I need to get some more of those. Those are just kind of craft sticks that you can get at Hobby Lobby. So, okay, so I'm going to, and I set my alarm. So my plan is to only go an hour, and we'll see. It may not take us that long, but I don't want to go over my hour. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to scoop this in here. And I'm not going to put it all in one spot, okay? And I am going to use this up. So I don't mind that I'm putting it all in here. Like that. I'm drinking water, so I'm trying not to get any in my water. There we go. There we go. Here, I'm going to stick it here. It's kind of in the middle. So yeah, so whenever you want to mix like different colors, I like to put mine in like a deep dish, like you see here, and then kind of space it out like this, like kind of blop it here and there. That's a technical term I'm using. So I'm just going to scrape that a little bit more. Try to use up all my ingredients. Put that down there. And I'm going to be using just a regular size ice cream scoop. Like I have different sizes. I don't know what the measurement on this one is, but this is out of all my scoops, this is the largest one that I have. Thanks, Joe. She said those colors are spot on for cotton candy. They are really pretty. So, so I just did a custom order. Well, I've been working on it for months, actually. So some of my members are here and you know I've been sick, or I had been sick. I'm well now. But anyway, so, you know, when that happens, you know, life takes unexpected turns. And so anyway, so I'm much better. I'm doing well now. But I had a lot of things got put on hold, and one of them was a custom order. And so anyway, so it just got shipped off. So I can't share yet until she receives it. But yeah, so I'm super excited for her to get it. But these colors were part of her custom order. So I'm super, it turned out so good. So I can't wait for her to get it. So once she does, then I'll share in my membership, and then also share on my page. So all of you can see it too. Okay, so I'm going to go back through and you'll see how I'm just kind of adding them back in and then just putting them in different places. And the reason for that is because, like I said, I don't necessarily want it to look swirled, but when I go to scoop it, it's going to start to combine together, and that's the look I'm going for. Whoopsie. Okay, so I'm going to put some on the top here. And then we'll put some over here. So now that I used a separate popsicle stick for these. I guess I could have used the same one. I didn't even think about it since I was combining them. I'm just so accustomed to, you know, whenever I use resin, we use separate separate things. When I use, you know, different colors, I'm just so, you know, accustomed to using separate ones. But anyway, I am going to mix them a little bit before I go to scoop. So I just want to get all this out of here, and I'll set that over there. Okay, so you'll see how I've already got a little bit of the blue on the top here, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take and put, kind of not mixing them, but we're combining them because I really want it to look like cotton candy. And I'm just going to use 1 scoop on this. I've been calling these waffles. On these funnel cakes, I'm only going to use 1 scoop of ice cream on here. So I will save this mixture and I'll use it for something else. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what I end up using this for. Okay, so I don't want to mix because I don't want it to turn into a third color. I just still want you to be able to see that pink and that blue. Okay. All right, so let's stick that in there. I'm going to set that aside. I put a piece of parchment. Let me take a drink of water. I put a piece of parchment, but I'm going to grab another piece of parchment. And then that way, when I go to do the 2 of them, I can move it and it'll be easy to move. So let me grab another piece. And then I'm going to make this smaller. This one's really big. I'm just going to cut it down a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to put that back under there. And then I'm going to turn this sideways. I do have a mat, like a silicone mat that I work with, but I want to keep it clean too. All right, so I'm going to use one of my little, this is, like I said, this one is already done. It's just the traditional, like the funnel cake dough with my powdered sugar on top. So I have an Etsy shop. You can, if you're interested in what I have, I sell the powdered sugar in there. So you can just search on Etsy for Heavens to Betsy Cakery. But anyway, what this is just the powdered sugar on top of the traditional funnel cake. And let's move those out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to put this here. Let me stick my water over here. And then I'll move this over here so you can see better. I'm trying to get it closer so y'all can see what I'm doing. All right, and then let me grab my ice cream scoop. And I'm just going to scoop this up. And we have my... So when I do my ice cream, I really like the little, I don't know if you call it ribbon. I like the little, the edge on your ice cream. Like whenever I do scoops, I always make sure that it's got that extra little ribbon. And I'll show you what I mean. So let me scooch this in here. I always like this around the, oops, I'll grab that. I always like when you see that around the edges. I'm glad that didn't fall in my sprinkle bowl. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure this has some. And then when I go to smush it down on, again, I was going to say waffle. When I smush it down on my funnel cake, you'll be able to see that. Okay. But I don't want to touch the little edge here too much because I want you to see the texture in the ice cream. Okay. So let's do this. And because I scooped it, I don't really know what the ice cream looks like underneath. You know what I mean? Like it might be solid. It might not be. I'm hoping it's not. Okay. I want just a touch bit more over here. All right. And there we go. Because I'm putting this on the funnel cake, it's kind of lumpy bumpy. So the ice cream is going to kind of do what it wants to do. I'm just sticking mine right in the middle. And then I'm just going to apply some pressure to release it and let it do its thing. Let me make sure these are, whoopsie, coming off. I want to stick to my ice cream scoop. Oh, it's so cute. Hang on. My little ribbon is falling off. Let's get it back on there. Okay. And then I will show you. Well, let's put that in there. Okay, so I can pick this up. So there you go. Look. How cute, right? Different, for sure. Okay, So I'm not going to use my hand. I'm going to use the, hey, Tina Marie, welcome, welcome. I'm going to use my popsicle stick to just kind of press down a tiny bit. Again, I don't want to lose that texture on it, but I just want to make sure when I lifted up the ice cream scoop, some of it came with it. So I'm just going to kind of press down a little bit to get those lines from the ice cream scoop back in there. Just like that. And then I'll show you. There, so it wanted to come loose. And then let me have, oh my, I've got a lot of the, look how much is left. I'm super excited. Look how much is left. So I'm going to be making something else. I don't know if I'll make more of the same one. Here, I'm going to grab one of those baby popsicle sticks. I've just got like, not a hole, but where it got pulled apart. I want to add more ice cream into that. There we go. So let me grab that. And then we're going to be embellishing it and adding toppings and decorations, but I just want to make sure it's sticking to the ice cream. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to grab a little bit right here as well, because I like the texture of that ice cream. Okay. And then let me show you. All right. There you go. Oh, no worries, love. She says, I'm sorry I'm late. You are just fine. I'm going to smush this down a little bit. Okay. There we go. So there you go. So yeah, so I love how you got, like I said, you can still see all the pink and the blue just combined and kind of did its thing. So, okay, so I'm going to set this down so you can see it. And then I'm going to need this scoop for our next one. So I'm just going to do my best, because normally I wash these out. So I'm going to do my best to clean this out now. You never want to let your spackle, which is ice cream is spackle, you never want to let that dry on there, or Lordy, I don't know how you'd get it off. It would be nearly impossible. Anyway, I've got wipes here. Our next ice cream is going to be pink. So, so I don't mind if it's a different shade of pink, very similar, but different. So I don't mind if the pink gets on here, but I want to make sure there's no blue on here. So I'm just going to make sure and scrape that off. And then I've got wet wipes here. I'm going to use that really quick. Okay. And then before I go on, let's move these. Actually, I'm going to move this over to these. And then we'll move these out of the way. I've got a lid, is what I was trying to say. Before I go on, I'm going to close this up. And then that way it won't dry out. And then I can use it again, either for another one of these or for a different project. But especially for, you know, I know we just started spring, but us fake bakers and business owners for, you know, fake food, we've got to think ahead. So, so this cotton candy is perfect for like a summer theme, fake bake decorating. So anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to get the lid on here so we didn't have to worry about it drying out. And so now that's good to go. I'm going to take a drink real quick. Okay. And then in the meantime, this is just kind of doing its thing. Let me grab the wipe and let's get this wiped off a little bit before it dries. Okay. Oh, good. This is coming off easy. So how are you all tonight? I am so happy to be back with you all. It's like I said, it's been a hot minute. My members know all. For all of you, I'll spare you. I'm just happy to be back. So, yeah, so my goal is new month, April, new season, spring, new beginnings. And so yeah, so some of you may have noticed because y'all know me, I'm themey, matchy, matchy. So anyway, so you may have noticed I renamed our Thursday nights here on my business page. So yeah, so it is now going to be called Totally Fake Thursday. So yeah, so please invite you to come join me on Thursday nights. It'll be 7 p.m. Eastern for just something totally fake. And yeah, so my goal is to try and share something that is either already made, like I did tonight, like with the funnel cakes, and then we're just sweetening them up a little bit, or we may do something, you know, fresh and brand new from the start. Like, you'll just have to tune in and we'll see. All right, I got that cleaned up. So we can keep going. All right, put those over there. Okay, and then let's move those over to there. All right, so with this one, okay, so then next we are going to mix up the whipped cream. So I'm going to put a dollop of whipped cream. I also got out strawberries and I got out cherries. I wasn't quite sure when I got done if I wanted a cherry on the top or if I wanted to put a strawberry on it. Strawberries are kind of big for this one. I think I am going to just do the cherry on the top. And then I also got, here we go. I got some of my pink sprinkles. And so these are like crumbs. And I thought that might be kind of cool. So I got some of those out. I got out some of my white glitter. So I'm going to sprinkle some of that on there. And then I also got out the diamond dust because I thought with being, I'm just going to kind of keep it a little simple because I feel like the cotton candy kind of does the thing. But yeah, but I always loved the diamond dust because it's super shiny. So I may do that too. We'll see. Okay, but we're definitely, the next thing we're going to do is we'll mix up our, the whipped cream that we're going to put on the top. So to do that, I'm going to change places with some of this stuff. Wiggle my mouse again. Let me move this over to here. And then that way, scooch those, don't want to spill them. I'll move some of this out of your way so that you can actually, you can see the good stuff. Okay, so let's do this. Let's put this on this plate and I'll set this here while it can start to set up a little bit while I mix up the whipped cream. Okay, there you go. And then that way you can kind of see it. Alrighty, let's move the sprinkles and put that right there. Okay, so I'm going to use my scale. We're going to mix up our whipped topping. So I'm going to zero out my scale. I need a big popsicle stick for this one. So I'm going to set my container and I'm going to zero that out. Oh, that didn't zero. Zero go. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my Fast and Final. Set that there. And then I'm going to mix up 4 ounces. So for me, I'm going to get 2 ounces of my Fast and Final. And then I'm also mixing up 2 ounces of the One Time, the Red Devil, because I'm going to take some of this out. Actually, let's do 3 ounces instead. Let's do 3. So I'll have 6 altogether. My Fast and Final is too wet, so that's the reason I'm mixing up 2. There we go, 2 ounces. All right, get that there. All right, and then I always set these by my door so that I know before I leave. I have to snap the lid on tight. Otherwise, it would just dry out, and I don't want that. Okay, and then I'm going to grab a different one. Now, these 2 I don't mix because they are different products. So let me scooch that over to there. But my Fast and Final is really wet, and this one's really dry. So for me, depending on what I'm making, I will mix them. So if I'm piping, I like to mix them. If I'm doing ice cream, like especially like if my Fast and Final is too wet, I don't like to use it. There's something in this one. I don't know what that is, but it didn't look white, so I'm taking that out. But anyway, so just depending on what I'm making will depend on if I use one of these products by itself or if I combine the 2. For this one, because we're piping, I definitely want to combine the 2. It just makes it easier for me. And then I'm also going to grab, I have some white paint over there, and I'm going to grab that as well. 5.8, so we're almost there. Let me see. And nope, a little bit more. I was going to say, and 6. And now we're at 6. Okay. I've left these in the popsicle sticks in my jar before, but they get yucky, so I don't do that. So, okay. And then let me grab my white paint over here. You can use any white paint. I'm using the Americana in the snow for my whipped topping right now. Move that over to there. Okay. Ooh. Oh, there was just a little dried piece it like popped out at me. I don't know what that was. Okay, I'm going to turn this and I'm going to add some paint to this. Okay. There we go. And then I'm going to stick that back on my shelf because that's lined up for another project. Okay, and then let me put this away. And then I'm just going to stir these together. Now, when you stir these, like I just stir to combine. If you do it too much, like then it gets very thin again. So for me, I'm just basically just stirring them up to combine. Now, when you go to use a piping tip, you could use any one that you want. I actually grabbed a really big one. Oh, I'm like, where's my piping tip? It's right here. I grabbed a large one. I'll move that. I'll show you. Okay, so I'm just going to stir this to combine it. Okay, and then let me grab my scissors, and then mine are tucked in here. Okay, so yeah, so I'm using a really large piping tip for this one. So let me cut it. So I'm going to cut it, and if it's too big, hopefully it's not, but if it's too small, I can adjust it. There we go, perfect. Love it. Okay, so I'm going to take it in here, put my scissors up, and then I'm using my mason jar. Y'all know me and my mason jars, but I'm using my mason jar to hold the bag while I fill it up. Okay, and then I'm just going to spoon it in. Well, it's not a spoon, but you know what it is. We're just going to scrape it off to the sides and get it in here. I usually will make up like 4 ounces altogether. I'll do 2 of each product. For this one, I've got some other projects lined up that I'm working on behind the scenes for my members. And I need some of the whip. So I went ahead and made 6. And then that way I don't have to mix up. I should have plenty. So that way I won't have to mix up another batch and I'll be able to reuse this. So, okay. Now, whenever I fill up my piping bags, before I just pipe it directly onto the product that I'm working on, I will test it. You just want to make sure that there isn't air in the bag and that it's not going to kind of like sputter when you're squeezing it. So anyway, what I do is I just, usually I'll just test it like on my, oh, I got a cough. Excuse me. I just usually test it like on that popsicle stick or in the little container, and then I'll put it right back in the bag. Let me grab, move my mouse again. I'm going to grab another wet wipe. Whoopsie. Too many. Okay, I just got a little bit on my bag, so I'm going to wipe it before I squeeze, just to keep my hands a little cleaner. I don't mind messy hands, though. You all know me. Sign of messy hands is a sign that I've been creating. So I don't mind at all. Oh, Tina says, if you don't use all of your whip, how do you store it? So if I don't use it all, like typically, like here's my pink that's in here. Typically, if I don't, like how it's in the bowl, I'll just put the lid back on it. And then that way it stays good in there. If it's in my bag like this, I will keep it in the bag, and then I'll put like a little bit, like not a wet wipe, but I'll do, you could actually, the wet wipe probably be better. I was going to say I usually do like a wet paper towel, but it does sometimes dry out, but the wet wipe might be a little better. But anyway, I will put like a little bit of like a wet paper towel on the end of it, and then I put this in a Ziploc bag. However, if you don't use it relatively soon after you do that, then the tip will get hard, and then like the mixture can still be good in here, but sometimes your mixture will get hard, or I mean the tip will get hard. Like the mixture will be good, but the tip will get hard. So okay, I'm going to squeeze this down here, and when that happens to me, what I end up doing is I'll just cut the tip off of it and then put it in a brand new bag. And then I don't like I'll just put a bag in a bag and then start over. And then that way I don't have to worry about like losing any of my product. Like I can just squeeze it and it keeps coming out. Okay, so again, before we squeeze it on, what I do, I just test it, like just to check it. And then also, if depending, like I use a lot of different tips. And so for me, I like to test it because I also can test the technique I'm going to use. So like if I want to like wiggle the tip, or if I want to just hold it steady and put pressure, like it just lets me test out the tip. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. So for me, I'm going to just do like a twirl, and then I can tell this is coming out just fine. So I won't put it back in since I still have the bowl. So I'm just going to scrape it off in here. Okay, so I am going to, let's just set that over there. Oh, that's way in your way. No, we won't set that over there. Oh, you're welcome, love. Okay, so I'm going to switch. Let me have my, I'm going to move that out of your way. I'm going to switch and bring this back here. And then, oh, let me stick it over here. And I'll take a drink of my water. Okay, so, and I do have the smaller piece, and I got my paper plates. And the reason for that is if I do like sprinkles, I like to put it on the paper plate. So anything that goes on, like any extras that don't stick to my product, I can just take them and put them back into my containers if they're not contaminated. Like if they have stuff all over them, then I don't do that. But anyway, so, okay, so we're going to go ahead. I'm just going to put a dollop of the whipped cream like on the top of my ice cream. So I'm just going to start here and make a swirly thing like that. And then I'm going to use one of the cherries. So I'm going to just pop that on there and just kind of press it down. So that way you can see it kind of high. Okay, and then I want to use the white. No, actually, I'm not going to use the white glitter. I'm going to use a little bit of the diamond dust. Now, for me, I don't like to handle the diamond dust with my fingers. It's actually cut glass, and I just prefer being able to use like a spoon, and then that way I have more control. Plus, I just don't want it in my fingers. So I'm going to put it on this plate. So that way, if it doesn't stick where I want it, I can shake it off. Okay, so I'm just going to put it on the whipped cream, just a little bit. And I don't really want it on my ice cream, but if it falls on there, I don't mind. But I don't want to intentionally put it on there. So I'm just going to sprinkle it on the whipped cream like that. And then I can tell some already fell, and I'm okay with that. Okay. Oh, I don't need the spoon in there. Okay. It just makes it really super sparkly. Okay. Let's move that aside. And then the next thing I'm going to do is when I do the white, so I've got like what's going to be white chocolate. When I get this heated up, then I'm going to drizzle the white chocolate on here, and then I'm going to some of the pink sprinkles on here. And then that way they'll just kind of stick a little better. Okay. So for now, we're just going to set this one aside, and we're going to start on the next ice cream one. Okay. All right. Let me move that. And, oh, that plate still has them. Okay, that's cool. All right. And we'll move that aside. And then here's our next funnel cake all ready to go. So I'll grab that. And then I already have pink ice cream. I wasn't sure. I grabbed 2 of them. I have 2 ready. Wasn't sure how much I had in here. So I grabbed 2 of them just in case, but it looks like I have plenty. But let me grab a different popsicle stick, and then let's stir this up and see. Okay. All right. And this one, I'm just going to do the pink ice cream. Okay, so it's a similar color. I'll show it to you. And this was already mixed up, again, for another project that I was working on. Okay, so we're going to take our ice cream scoop, and I'm going to set that over there. We're going to scoop directly in here, and then I'm going to smush it Again, I like that little look of the little ice cream coming over the edge. You know what? I'm not going to use this. Hang on a second. This looks a little too soft serve. We're going to add something to this. And the reason I knew that, well, I didn't know it before I put it in here, but after I put it in, it looked very smooth and soft servy, and that's not what I want. So hang on. We are going to, let me grab my additive. So let me see. Here it is. Okay. So when I do my ice creams, sometimes I will add my grout to give it, it thickens it up. I use this instead of flour. So any of you that used to use flour to make your ice cream, I don't use like any real foods in mine. But anyway, I'm going to use 1 scoop. And then what that does is it's going to help thicken up my ice cream now. And then as it sets up, it will as well. And then it also just gives it, let me close this up to keep it from drying out. Okay, hang on. Grab my wet wipe. And then when you use this, it's very lightweight and poofy. So don't breathe it. Like, you really want to be really cautious when you are using this. So I just kind of gently get it to combine. And then once it does, then I can stir. But right now I'll show you what I mean. And it's kind of like an off-white in color, so it really doesn't change the texture. I mean, it totally changes the texture, but not so much the color. And for this project, I'm totally fine. Okay. Let me move my mouse. Let me wiggle it first. Okay. All right, so now I'm just going to make sure all that powder is combined. Oh, much better. Now we look like ice cream. Like I said, I have a lot of ingredients, a lot of fake bake supplies in process, and using up. Like I'm very intentional this year, 2025. I'm making use of everything that we're using, like making sure we use things up. Don't want to waste anything. Okay, there we go. Much better. And you can also see like the texture is much better. So, okay, there we go. Just took a little side detour there. But anyway, that's how I work. So it just kind of gives you a glimpse, of how my creative process works. It's like, as I'm doing things, sometimes, we can just tell like, oh, that's not going to work. Or maybe we needed to, in my case, I knew I needed to put the ice cream additive in here. It just looked too thin, like soft serve, and I wasn't happy with that for this project. Now, it might have been just fine for another. Okay. And I don't want to put too much on the edge. I'm afraid it's going to stick like the other one did, but I can always come back and add a little bit more on the outside like I did. Okay, there we go. Let me scooch that out of the way. Whoopsie. It's teeter-tottering. Okay, and then I'm going to bring this back in front of me. I'm going to plop this on here, and then we're just going to squeeze to release. Like it's sticking. There we go. Okay. Whoops, my paper's moving with me. Hold on. There. Okay. There, you can see it looks like a scoop of pink ice cream now. All right, and then I'm going to go back like I did with the other one. Let's set that down. And I'm just going to grab a little bit more. Let me grab one of these baby ones. I'm going to grab a little bit more to fill in, like where the scoop, where it pulled, not pulled, but like where I pulled the ice cream scoop off of it and released it. Like, I just want to make sure it's combined. Like, I'll show you what I mean. Like, if I turn it this way, you can kind of see like a hole in the ice cream right here. And I'm just going to add a little bit more right there, just to make sure there. I have plenty, so I just want to make sure there's just plenty on here. And then also when I do that, just want to give it that extra texture. So I can, oopsie, I can add a little bit more. So anyway, if any of you have questions, if anybody's watching and you're new to Fake Bake and you're interested in learning more or learning how, I do have a private membership. We have a private group called the Cakery. My website is being redone. I won't get into details about what's happening with that this week, but if you are interested in learning more, you can always put it in the comment and I can reach out to you and give you more information about what we do and how to sign up and what all goes on in there. So, okay. I just, there. Just adding a little bit more, and then my ice cream looks like it's melting over here a little bit, and I'm totally okay with that. Okay. I'm just giving it that line like you would see from the scoop. There we go. Perfect. It's funny I say perfect because I try not to make anything perfect. I really do. I'm not about perfect. I'm about realism. Like, I want things to look realistic that fool your eye. I don't want things to look cookie cutter, even though we do use cookie cutters. I just don't. I really, I just enjoy the process, and I enjoy, all of you, that are with me and that you work with me. It's like, I just really enjoy seeing your creativity come to life. And so, yeah, so if any of you are watching and you're, going to make some of these on your own, I would love it if you shared with me what you ended up doing, because we all, everyone has their own spin on things, and I love seeing what you all make as well. Okay, I'm going to, again, let's wipe this out, and then I'm going to get these, the glue. I put my glue sticks in the glue pots. I'm going to get those turned on. So I think we are maybe have about 15-20 minutes left. I have my alarm set at 5 till at a 5-minute mark so that I don't go over. Because y'all know me, I can talk and talk. So, all right, let me wipe these off. Just don't want it to dry on here. Again, I'm used to having these to be able to wash them out right away. I'm going to move this over to here, and then move that over to here. Getting it all over me. Okay. Yeah, this is working pretty good. Sometimes I'll grab one of my mason jars with water, like fill it up with water and bring it in here, and then I just stick it in there until after my tutorials, and then I can go get it rinsed properly. But I forgot to do that. Like, I wasn't thinking about that. So, okay, we are good with that. Let me just wipe my hands a little bit. I don't think Kenny wants ice cream all over his phone that's fake or real. Okay, let's move this back. All right, and then next I'm going to get these plugged in. And then let's move that over to here. I'm going to leave this here. Okay, so with these hot glue pots, once I plug them in, I don't touch them. I don't move them afterwards until they've cooled off. They're just very hot when you're working on them. And to be safe, you just don't want to. Okay. All right. So I'm going to move that over to there. My hands are wet. Okay. Let me scooch that there. Scoop this a little more. All right. So we've got the white one for like the white chocolate, and then I've got the brown one. I'm sorry, I'm going to be out of your view for a second. I got to plug these in. Oops. And let's turn this one on. And then let's turn this one on. I'm going to do both at the same time. So hold on. Okay. And then I'm going to scooch this one to here and this one to here. Let's get this one turned on. Okay. There we go. I think you can see them. So I have, what they are is they're hot glue pots, and they have hot glue sticks in them. So this one has a chocolatey brown color that we use for our hot chocolate. And then this one's kind of like an off-white that I used for like white chocolate. So, okay, let's do this. Let's scooch some of these over to here for just a second. I need to bring my, my other funnel cake closer to us. And oh, here it is. I was looking for that other piece. So I'm going to bring this here. So we're going to drizzle this one with the white chocolate. And then once I do, I can move that little piece of paper, and then we're going to drizzle this one with hot chocolate. Okay. All right, so they're going to kind of melt, do their thing. I've got some more glue sticks. I'm just going to cut these and put them in. But anyway, if you guys have any questions about what we're doing or what I've done, let me know. I'm happy to answer them best I can. Let me take a drink real quick. Okay. And then I've got some marshmallows and chocolate. So when I do the drizzle, if you wanted to, oh, I just realized I forgot. I have little candy pieces too. The little pink and the blue balls. They're going to go on the white chocolate. Not the white chocolate. They're going on the oh my goodness, the cotton candy with the white chocolate drizzle. When I do the white chocolate drizzle, I'm going to drop some of those little candy pieces on there too. That's what I forgot. So, well, I mean, I didn't forget. We haven't done the white chocolate, but I almost forgot they were sitting over there. So when I was going to do my chocolate drizzle, I would have missed putting them on. But anyway, when you do your drizzle, you don't want to use plastic like in these hot pots. You want to make sure that you're using like wood so that it doesn't melt. If you did plastic, it could potentially melt into your little pot. So. Oh, yay. Tina says, I love these. So does my granddaughter. Looks like we have another fake bake to do. They're so cute, right? Here, I'm going to lift this one up before I add the white chocolate to it. So here's this one so far. So yeah, I mean, like I said, we're just sweetening up. I mean, they're super cute as is. Let me grab you. I'll just grab this one on the plate. So super cute by themselves. But look, it's fun to embellish too, right? Like, why not? You know us creators, us crafters, we can't stop. But anyway, they are super duper cute. So, okay, so I'm going to, oh, let me cut up these chocolate ones. I got out some more glue sticks. When I put my glue sticks in my pot, I just cut my glue sticks up. You don't have to. I do just because I feel like it helps them melt evenly. And then it's just easier, like I think for me. So that's what I do. Like this one was too big. And like you can see with the white one, I already stuck those in and they're already starting to melt. And then just don't touch the pots because you will burn yourself. And be very careful. Like if you wanted to use a glue gun instead of the pots, you absolutely could. For me, I like the look of the drizzle, and with the glue stick in the glue gun, it's like you're getting more of like a ribbon of glue. Whereas with this, it's like I just have more control where I can really like just really, drizzle it on there. So I'm going to grab this plate back. Let me scooch this. And let me not forget these, but I'm going to move them again. I have tweezers too for my little candy balls because they just tend to, whenever I've used them in the past, they just tend to go everywhere. So with the tweezers, it's like I can literally, like with the glue, I can kind of pick them up. I've lost my mouse. Here it is. I can pick them up and then kind of place them where I want. So anyway, I have the paper plate, and then I have the parchment paper. So that way I'm not just setting it on the paper plate because I don't want that glue to stick to the parchment. I mean, I don't want it to stick to the paper plate. So having the parchment, it won't. But the reason I'm holding it up this way is so, one, I'm hoping you can see. Two, because I want to be able to do both of them, and the white one is closer to me, and I just want to be able to get closer to it. So that's really the only reason. Okay. So my glue is melted. So I don't know if you can see me. I'm going to stir it up. And then I'm going to drizzle some on here. Okay. So hopefully you can see me. I know it's kind of behind me, but I'm going to just drizzle like this. And I'm going over everything. The ice cream, I'm staying in one direction. and then I'll turn it and you'll see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to stop for a second because I need those little balls. I'm just going to drop them on here. And then hopefully they're going to land on that glue somewhere. So I just wanted them to look like little candy pieces. That's the reason for them. And I'll show you in just a sec. So here, I hope you can see there. Okay, I'm going to turn my thing. And then we're going to drizzle on the other side. And then I'm also drizzling like in the middle of it. So just the way I did it, it's like I want some of it on the ice cream. There. But I want to get it in the middle as well, like down here. And the thing I like about the glue too is that you get those drips. So, okay, I'm going to grab some of these little balls. We're going to drop them on there. Now, if your glue dries, if you want to embellish it and the glue stick dries too quickly, you can always come back in afterwards and then just glue them on. Do you know what I mean? Like you can add glue and glue them on. Like that's fine. Oopsie. Okay. So let me put one up here. So yeah, can you see them? Okay. Tina says, where'd you get the smaller glue pot? Yeah, I got it on Amazon. I got them both on Amazon. Yep. I actually have, oh my gosh, 4 of them now. I may have a problem. Yeah, I have 4 of them, but the little one I got on Amazon. I mean, I got them all on Amazon, to be honest. So yeah, I'm just going to add a little bit more on this. And then let me, whoops, I touched the paper plate, which is fine. Not what I was trying to do. And let me turn. And then let me just get a little bit more on this side. And then we're going to jump to the other one before we run out of time. But it's basically, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add the chocolate sauce. And then we've got like the pink sprinkles and the chocolate sprinkles. I'm going to put them on that one. Okay, let me do one more and then, okay. And then you can see it looks like this now. You can see all the drizzle. Okay. All right. So I'm going to set this one down and then I'm not going to leave my stick in here. Let me grab, I was going to grab a paper plate for this one too. So let me, but I need to cut this piece a little smaller so it fits on my plate. So hang on one second. And then that way I can hold it up. So let's bring it over to here. I'm going to do the drizzles and then I'm going to add the whipped cream last. Okay. All right. So since I'm already with the white, I'm going to drizzle with the white. So we're just going to come across the whole thing like this. Just be careful, like my fingers are right here. So if you're doing it too, just be careful your fingers aren't in the way. Okay. And then I'm going to sprinkle, I think I'm going to do the pink. No, how about I do the chocolate? Let's do the chocolate on the white, and then we'll do the pink on the brown. And then that way they won't get lost too much. Once this dries, you'll be able to like tip it upside down. Let me stir this up. You'll be able to tip it upside down and whatever doesn't stick will fall off. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to do the chocolate drizzle next. Again, just watch your fingers if you're drizzling. it would burn really bad. So just be real careful. That's all. Same with this. I just kind of wanted it to give it an idea of like a banana split. I know I'm getting a lot of glue on my paper, like the parchment, and that's fine. Like not much I can do about that. Okay. I'm just going to do that. And then I'm going to do a couple, not spills, but like thicker. Like I'll show you. Like I want to do a couple really thicker piles of chocolate. Because who doesn't love chocolate, right? All right. All right. I think I'm going this way too. This is just a crazy one. Okay, perfect. All right. And then I'm going to take some of these and we're just going to sprinkle a little bit of these on here just to give it some extra. Oh, good. Well, not good, but there's my alarm. All right, we'll snooze that. What's good is that I didn't run out of time. I was worried I was going to. All right, I'm going to turn these off now, but I'm not going to touch them or move them. They're just going to stay where they're at. And then I'm going to throw a little bit more of the chocolate pieces on top, just so you can really see them. And my chocolate, like my, these are all clay, by the way. Like polymer clay is my chocolate and my sprinkles. They're all made out of clay. I had marshmallows, but I don't think I want marshmallows on here. Do I? Let me see. What do you all think? Should I add some marshmallows to this one? They're just baby miniature marshmallows. Should I? Why not? Let's throw some in there. Just more is less. I mean, more is less. That's not what I meant. I'm going to throw the marshmallows on here. Why not? Throw them on there. Now, when I get all done, like I said, if for some reason my glue is kind of dried or something, not dried, but if they don't stick, then I will glue them on. I'll stick some in the ice cream. There. Okay. So yeah, so I'm going to throw some marshmallows on there. And then that one. Okay. Oh, yay. Thank you. Tina Marie says, love that. And then she said, makes me want a funnel cake real bad. But here, let me lift it up before I show you the whipped cream. So it's kind of crazy, right? Now, you'll see these big strands. When I get done, when I lift it up, if anything is still like attached to it and it's still like kind of crazy, like hanging off crazy, what I do is I take scissors and I trim them as close to the funnel cake as possible. And then I just take like a heat source, like a lighter, and then I'll just gently like put a little heat. Like you don't want to burn it or the actual glue will burn, but if you put just a little heat near it, it will kind of like start to melt that glue, and then it will attach back to the surface and you won't have these crazy long wispy things. Okay, let me take these are cooling off. Let me take these out of here. Again, you don't want to keep your sticks in there, but I just scrape mine on the edge of it, and then as it melts, it goes back down into the pot. Okay, so let me set these over here. There, they're safe. Okay, and then let's, oh, here it is. I'm like, let's do the whipped cream. Okay, and I'm going to do a big dollop on this one. Where's my, okay. I think I'm going to do the strawberry on this one. What do you think? It's different. By the way, my strawberries, real quick before I go, my strawberries are just like an artificial strawberry, and I coated them in resin. So just to give you an idea of what this looks like and what this is. So it's super shiny red because I've dipped them in resin. Okay. So since this is strawberry ice cream, I'm going to put the strawberry on top. Okay. So I'm going to twist this up, and we're going to do really big dollop of whipped cream. Okay. And then I'm going to smoosh this on here because I don't want it to come off like that. Okay. And then for this one, instead of the diamond dust, I've got the little white glitter that I'm going to use real quick. All right, but anyway, I'm about done. Yay, I'm so happy I got both of these done for you within our hour. So yeah, once these cure and they're ready to go, I will have them listed in my Etsy shop. So my traditionals will be in there. They're not there yet. And then these fancy ones, these extra fancy sweet ones will be in there. So yeah, so anybody watching, if you're interested in these, I don't know if I'll make more or not. I know I have more of the, I know I have more of that cotton candy ice cream, so it's possible. But right now, I have so much else going on and a lot of changes coming to our membership. So I'm just like full speed ahead working on the membership things right now. So anyway, let me show you what I have before we get off of here. But anyway, thanks for joining me. This one is just our, I don't know what we're calling this one, just our strawberry funnel cake. I don't know. We'll come up with a name for this one. And then here's the other one, which is the cotton candy one. And then you'll see like the white drizzle and all the little cotton candy pieces on it. So, but anyway, thank you all so very much. Okay, it's 8 o'clock. So thank you again for coming and joining me for this evening. For those of you in my membership, I will be back on Tuesday for our Sweet Talk Tuesday, our weekly Q&A. Got some exciting news to share with you come Tuesday. And for the rest of you, I will be back here next Thursday for our Totally Fake Thursday with you all. So if you are not following me, you can go to my business page, which is where you're at now watching me, and you can follow me and you'll get notifications when I go live. I may go live more often than just Thursday nights. But for right now, that's my plan, is just to hop back in here on Thursday nights and be live with you. But anyway, thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all. And I hope you all have a good rest of your night. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you. Bye.